Back in 2020, in one of the first videos here on the channel, I made a video and said the median housing cost in Madison, Mississippi was $280,000. Well, we all know a lot of things have changed in the last 5 years. I actually went and looked in Madison to see how many active listings are at or below $280,000 currently. And out of all the 242 listings in Madison, and I did that 3 bedrooms or higher, only 14 of them were under 280,000. So that tells you where we have come in a few years. Now, Madison is the most expensive city. If you look it up, most expensive city to live in Mississippi, it is Madison. It probably was then, and it definitely is now. But a lot of other factors are going to go into your total cost of living, and a lot of other things have changed. Some have gotten better, and some have gotten worse. So we're going to answer the question, is Mississippi and the Jackson Metro still an affordable place to move? Is it a good idea to move here for that affordability? And really, what has changed and what can you expect? And we're just going to start with the housing because, well, that's the thing that I have the most experience with anyway, because here on the channel, we love making the videos, but we love even more when we can help you make the move to or around the Jackson Metro area. And for us to do that, all you got to do is reach out to us right here. You can call, text, email. You could even break out that megaphone. Now, y'all know I only say that because I just want you to do whatever it takes to get in touch with us so we can help make your move as smooth, simple, and easy as possible. And when you get here, the median price, and if you're looking at Madison today, this is the last 30 days of data on the MLS. The median closed price for a 3-bedroom or bigger home is $395,000. And if you look on other sites online, you're going to get incorrect data because Mississippi does not report. So Redfin, Zillow, they're just not going to have that accurate closed sale data. But like I said, Madison is the most expensive place to live in the area. If we want to look at the more affordable side, we can look at the city of Jackson, where as of the last 30 days, the median home price is $190,000, and that's up from $134,000 as of my video back in 2020. So pretty much no matter where you look, housing has gone up across the board. Matter of fact, it's gone up about 40% everywhere that I checked around the metro area compared to the numbers that I gave back in 2020. Now, we're going to go through some other costs. Housing may be the biggest, but there's a lot of other costs that go into what is the overall affordability of an area. Some of those have gotten worse, and some of them have actually gotten better, including one that I think a lot of you are going to be really excited about that we'll get to here in a little bit. But I want you to contrast that the entire time with knowing that in 2024, Mississippi had the second fastest growing GDP in the entire country. And that is just because we have had a lot of growth here. So incomes are going to be higher. There are more job opportunities. And, you know, we get the comments when we go show people these $1 million homes, usually in Madison, who can afford that in Mississippi? I'm telling you, there are a lot more people in Mississippi that can afford it than you may think. So if you're looking for opportunity, you're looking for a place where your dollar goes further and you still have the opportunity to make a pretty good bit of money, especially obviously for more skilled positions, Mississippi could be the place for you. Now, if you want to go back and watch my video from 2020, I'll pop it up there, and y'all don't hold it against me. Look, I was just getting into this. I feel like I've gotten a little better at doing it now. And, we had some green screen issues, and you know what? The info was there. So you can go watch it if you want to see the full comparison of what things were back then to what they are now. But in that video, the second thing I talked about was transportation. And here, really anywhere in Mississippi, transportation is going to mean, you're going to have your own vehicle. You're going to be paying for insurance. You're going to be paying for gas. Really, public transportation is not a big thing anywhere in Mississippi. Now, you do have J-Tran, the city bus in Jackson, and that can get you around for $42 a month, and that price has not changed. It's been $42 a month for the last 5 years at least. I don't know how long it's been $42 before that, but unfortunately, one of the costs that have, or really two of the costs that have gone up, number one is gas. Look, 2020, that was April of 2020. You know what was going on, and gas prices were super low, and yeah, they've gone up, but they're not that high. Comment down below where you're watching from and what are gas prices where you are right now. What are you seeing? Because here in Mississippi, in the Jackson Metro, I'm seeing right around $250 to $260, depending on where you go. And really, it's kind of interesting. The farther south you go in the state, the cheaper the gas gets. So if you go up towards Memphis, you're going to get closer to like $280, $290. But if you go down to the coast, you're going to be closer to like $225, $230. And I was just down there the other day. So that's just an interesting little thing. Maybe you're closer to the source, I guess. I don't know. But you are going to be buying gas and you are going to be buying insurance. And unfortunately, I don't know if I mentioned insurance exactly. But I'd say my insurance cost personally has gone up almost double since 2020. I don't know what it is for car insurance, the rates just went through the roof. And I haven't had accidents and done things, haven't really caused my rates to go up. And if you're watching and you're local and that sounds crazy to you, let me know who your insurance provider is, because I may need to look for a new one. But those car insurance rates have gone up. And while we're on the subject of transportation, another cost that really surprises people here in Mississippi is going to be your car tag, or your license plate, your registration, whatever you want to call it. I know some other states will do it just on a flat fee basis. Like Tennessee, I know does that. Texas does that. Here, it's going to be based more on the value of the vehicle, how new the vehicle is, and things like that. So if you have a newer vehicle, just get ready, because it may be $400, $500, or even more if you've got a really nice luxury vehicle. I've seen it be over $1,000 because it is going to be weighted to the actual cost, the value of the vehicle. So all I can say is just kind of be prepared for that, and don't be late on it, because you do get a credit. One time, my wife forgot to pay hers for 6 months. And if you go 6 months, you lose the legislative credit they give you. And it goes from being already really high to stupidly high. Okay. So don't forget to pay it. Definitely don't forget 6 months to pay it. Now, back at home, I do have a little bit better news. Now, the costs here on utilities have gone up a little bit as well. Back in 2020, I said we'd run around $120 to $150 a month for my electric bill. Today, I'd say that's really more like $140 to $160, and that's in a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,800 square foot home here in Flowood. So that's what we're paying here. Looking at the state, 13.4 cents per kilowatt hour as of June or July. I think that's the July number, and you can compare that to maybe almost triple that out in California. So your electricity costs are going to be much more affordable here, but that's not the only thing. You also are most likely going to have a natural gas bill as well, because it's not super expensive for natural gas here. I would say throughout the year, it probably averages around $40 a month. It goes pretty low in the summer because we're only using it for the water heater, the stove primarily. But then in the winter, obviously, we're using natural gas for heat, and that is pretty common here. You're almost always going to see that for your heat, your water heater, and cooking is pretty common. Probably cooking is maybe more 50-50. You'll see a lot more electric, stoves and cooktops than you will anything else. But other than that, your water bill, mine usually runs around $30 to $40 a month here in Flowood. I know if you're in the city of Jackson, they've had a lot of water issues. It's been in the news. You've probably seen it a few years ago, and they've been working through that. As a result, I've seen that water bills in Jackson could be a little higher, maybe around $60 or $70 on average. But that's probably going to be the highest. I think that would be. And again, with any of these bills, if you're local and you want to help some people out, maybe drop down what your average electricity bill, your utility, all your utility bills, and maybe what size home you have. It'd be really helpful to people who are thinking about moving here or just moving around the area. So I'd really appreciate it if you do get down there and leave that information to help them out. And now we have made it to what I'm going to call the good part of the video. If you made it this far, drop me a like down there because we're going to get into things that I think have gotten better and are getting better and more affordable as we go over the next few years, maybe the next 5 years here in Mississippi. And that's going to be starting with groceries. Now, groceries have gone up with inflation like everything else, but we're still pretty much below the national average here in Mississippi. And the sales tax in Mississippi is 7%. That used to be fully applied to groceries, and now that has been reduced to 5%. Now, if I get a little bit political here, pretty much everybody I talk to, myself included, kind of thinks that groceries should be reduced on down to zero like it is in some other states. But I'm happy for the little reduction we got there, and it is going to make groceries even more affordable than they already were here in Mississippi compared to some other areas. But that is only the very tiny little tip of the iceberg when we get to this, because we had some major tax legislation here in Mississippi, because here we do have a state income tax. And I know if you're looking at states like Texas, Tennessee, Florida with no state income tax, that might be a big sticking point for some people. But you'll like this. So as of right now, any income over $10,000 for an individual is going to be taxed at 4.4%. in 2025. But as we go forward to 2030, that rate is going to be gradually dropping down to 3%. And then after 2030, there are mechanisms in place to go ahead and eliminate that completely and get us to a zero income tax state. So while you are still paying that today, we are looking forward to a future of zero income taxes. And just like always, if you are living on retirement income, if you have that pension income, anything, Social Security, that is not taxed at the state level. There is no state income tax on retirement income. Obviously, you'll still pay the federal income tax, just not the Mississippi state income tax on that retirement income. So that's going to be a good benefit for all of you that we help a lot of people do this that are moving here for retirement. So if that's you, that's going to be a big benefit. And if you need help, if you got questions on that specifically, again, I'll pop the number up. Be glad to answer those. Even if you're early in the process, you're just kind of filling out, trying to figure things out, retirement or anything else, we'd love to help you out. So feel free to reach out, call or text there anytime. Now that we've made it through those major costs for everybody, I do have a bonus one that I totally forgot to mention in the video back in 2020, and that is childcare cost or daycare. And I can tell you from our own personal experience, we were looking around and over the last 5 years, we kind of saw the prices run from around $150 a week and kind of trend up more towards $200 a week. Generally. Now you can definitely find some places more expensive than that, and you can actually find some places that are more affordable. But I know just because I have family that live out in the Austin, Texas area, that they were paying close to double what we're paying. So I don't know what it is around the other parts of the country. Y'all can let me know what you're seeing out there on that. But if you're moving here, if you have kids, I thought that might be something that's really important for you to know. You definitely do want to, if you're going to be coming here, I would say go ahead and make that part of your plan ahead of time to try to find somewhere for child care. I'm not going to say it's going to be super difficult, but you're also probably not going to just walk in and get into place either. So definitely something to think about. Now, if you are still thinking about making a move here to Mississippi, you want to look into this a little bit further, you got to know that there's just a lot of things online out there in the public and the media that just aren't true about Mississippi, half truths, just complete myths, and just general things that you probably don't know about living in the state of Mississippi. So I made a video a couple weeks ago about that, and I promise you, if you're thinking about moving here, you definitely want to go watch that one. So check it out. I'll see you there.